Okay. You should be rejoicing because this week is the Open Access Week, so you'll have a lot of things that is going on internet, starting from chats, from things, questions that are asked, institutions that will put all sorts of materials there. Just look for the Open Access Week and you'll be astonished of how much it will be there for you. Okay. Oh, yeah. It should have been a very nice font that won't screw up my presentation, but it goes very well. Remember from this open definition, because I started with the open definition because we always have something related to semantics when we try to establish what open is. And there is, for this purpose, this definition of open. You should take out of it one thing very important: use and modify. That's, remember for this. For now, there's two things. Open access. Open access is a global movement that started out of the need to compensate for the rising prices for the scientific journals. So it's done by the librarians right now. In this bandwagon, it's a lot of those who are editing the scientific journals, including the commercial ones. Well, it's pretty nicely screwed, but it's okay. Open science, it's the new thing that is coming out of the open access. Open science is a new concept. It should have been called open access 2.0, but right now open science encompasses what is to become of the workflows of how science should be done. It's not only the finished product, the paper, the monograph, the presentation at the conference. It's about the whole workflow that will be spitted out and it will be used in the terms of data, the value out of it. Okay, yeah, absolutely, this is it. Good. It's a new modus operandi. It's not a product anymore. We are not talking about products anymore. It's the way it's happening. And that way of it's right now happening should be captured somehow and used later on. These two guys, I guess you know them. Everything is linked pretty nicely with software, workflows, and works. This is it. This is a very good mantra when it comes to opening the stuff you do as a researcher. Now I'll put the hat of representative for this project, because openarea.eu, and this project has a very nice repository that uses not only the works, doesn't accumulate works anymore. It goes also for the data sets, because this is really on the money in the future of your researchers. Maybe at one future point in time you will be asked on how to make relevant a data set that you produced in relation to another set that has been produced by one of your fellow colleagues. So remember this. Zenodo is part of OpenArea, and it captures also the data that could be shared and could be accessed then as an API. But the thing is, in the future, when you will be asked how to make relevant your datasets in comparison to other datasets, you will have to triplify it. You will have to make it semantically available for humans and machine in the same time. For that purposes, there is something that is called resource description framework. Please take a look into it. Nothing, but nothing out of this would be possible without using open licensing for software and for the works. The problem is sometimes you have to find a middle way to harmonize how open is one in comparison to the other. But by the time you will understand that one doesn't work without the other, there should be no quarrels between those licensing systems. People still perceive differently. Okay, a new thing that you have to become aware and to use it day by day is called GitHub. It allows you something beautiful that is called versioning. Start looking into that, because it will be the next big thing. Zenodo uses, that is part of OpenAir, Zenodo uses identifiers to track data as it's pushed not to Zenodo, but to GitHub. So everything starts to become interconnected, but we haven't got to the level of talking data to other data. Okay, there are guidelines to open access to scientific publication and research data on Horizon 2020. Horizon 2020, for those of you who don't know, it's a framework, a big pot of money dedicated to the research. And right now, within this framework, when it comes to the data, data are not mandatory. Data is a piloted thing. It will be gathered if you are willing to contribute to it. This is a schema that will tell you how to do it if you want to do it in the framework of open access 2 ways, the gold and the green. Japanese guys are picking up on this and they are developing their own national framework for this. And looking at this stuff, you would probably be asking yourself, what is the real dimension of everything that goes on enveloped in this open thing, and then in the mantle of open access, and the dimension is global. There is nothing that it cannot be encompassed within the research framework to the term of open access. Okay, one thing that I'm really, really fond of it, what it leads to these kind of things. Open source malaria, for example, it's a project that literally takes open science as a framework and makes a snapshot of the things that it does. Those who are working this are using a system that is called open notes. So as they work, you could see everything they do and you could capture that moment. It's very important because these things will go and it will accelerate the growth of science and the growth of the results that science proposes for its audience. Oh. And yes, these open notes started to become a big thing that led to real competitions. So right now it's an open netbook science challenge. Please take a look into it because you will see different ways of capturing the workflow of how science is done. Dziękuję, and thank you very much for your time and for your attention. I'll be for a grab outside if you have many questions. There are a few depths that I couldn't tackle. Thank you.